most important part of every novel? The main character. Hey guys, I'm Madeline and welcome back to my channel. Before we dive into today's video, I want to say thank you to all my new subscribers. I appreciate each and every one of you. And if you haven't subscribed yet, then what are you doing with your life? If you want weekly writing advice videos and tons of bonus content, the subscribe button is right there. So in last week's video, I talked about writing antagonists. If you haven't watched that video yet, I'll link it up in the cards for you guys. So I thought it would only be fair to talk about protagonists this week. So here are 5 tips for writing great main characters. The first tip is to make the reader care. This is extremely important. The reader should want to follow the main character through the story. They shouldn't simply be a vehicle for the story to happen to. So it is very important to make sure that your readers care about the main character early on in the story. You may have heard of this book, Save the Cat by Blake Snyder. It is a very famous writing advice book. It's actually about screenwriting, but there is a novel writing version out there as well. So why this book is titled Save the Cat is a very important writing tip as well. So essentially, Blake Snyder says that you need to give the reader or the audience, in case of screenwriting, a reason to care about the main character in the very first scene. So this can be by showing some quirky characteristics, maybe showing them figuring themselves out of a difficult problem, showing them to be relatable, or, as Blake Snyder puts it, make them save a cat. So this doesn't mean that your reader has to like your main character all the time. It just shouldn't be indifference. Your character should have flaws, should do things wrong, but there should be something about that character that makes them stand out, that makes the reader want to know more about them and want to follow their journey and feel like they are following someone worthy of their time. Number 2 is an arc. So I talked about redemption arcs in my video on antagonists, but people often forget that the good guys should have arcs too. They should develop throughout the novel just as much as your redeemed villain does. Your main character should not be the best version of themselves at the beginning of your book. Otherwise, what is there left for the reader to see? What is left for the rest of the story if your main character is already an absolutely perfect human being? There should be some weaknesses in your main character's character or in their life, which is then the journey they take throughout the novel, and then at the end they have reached their true potential by working on these weaknesses, by exploring their strengths, or by improving their life. There needs to be development for your main character. This doesn't always have to be very linear. Your character can think that they need to do one thing in order to improve, but realize along the way that they actually have to do something else, or that there is another quest that they must go on. But the important thing is that your main character at the beginning should not be the exact same person as at the end. There should be some character development. There should be an arc. Next up is motivation. Just as with antagonists, this is the holy grail of character. Your character needs to want something. There has to be a reason that they go on the quest, or that they try to solve the mystery, or that they are in the book at all. And it should be introduced early. The reader should know what is at stake. Why is this character doing what they are doing? What do they want? And what are the consequences if they don't get it? It doesn't have to be linear. It can change throughout the novel. Like I said, with arcs, your character can have a certain idea of what they want to achieve and realize that this isn't what they need to do. Or you can do what I'm doing with my current WIP to wear a crown, where one of my characters' motivation is finding their motivation. The fourth tip is not to write a piece of cardboard that looks human. I don't want to bash on Twilight because I really enjoyed reading those books at the time, but let's be honest, Bella Swan has no character whatsoever. She is simply a vehicle for the reader to step into and live through vicariously. That really isn't what you're looking for in a main character. Yes, it's nice for readers to be able to put themselves in the story and experience it, but that doesn't mean that you should have an absolutely blank main character for them to insert themselves into. This goes along with making your reader care. There needs to be something about this character that is unique. It needs to be a fully developed three-dimensional person. I don't want to read about a piece of cardboard that looks like a human being. I want to read about a human being. Your character should be well developed. They should have their own interests, their own unique personality traits, quirky eccentricities, hobbies, job, whatever you can use to make your character as believable, relatable, and unique as possible, you should use. Number 5 isn't so much a tip as a challenge, and that is to think outside the box. I would love to see a story where a human or some humanoid creature is not the narrator or the main character. So here I may be going to conflate narrator and main character a bit, but bear with me. What about a book about climate change where the Earth is the main character? What about a slice of life tale told by a statue? The Notre Dame fire told by some gargoyles? Maybe death narrates your novel. Maybe it's God. Maybe it is a plant or an animal as your main character. Think of books like White Fang. There you have a wolf as the main character, and that is one of the best books that has ever been written. So I would really challenge you to look at your story and see whether there's maybe a way out of the box main character that you haven't utilized quite yet. So those are the tips I have for you on writing protagonists. I hope that you guys found this video to be useful. If you did, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and a share. Remember to hit that subscribe button, and if you don't want to miss an upload, then you should also ring that little bell. That sends you an email notification as soon as I upload a video. As always, you can find me on my website, Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr, and Twitter. All the links are listed below, and I will see you guys next week. Bye!